I'm so excited to tell you that Unlock Questions That Opens Minds and Hearts is out there. I've been working on this for probably like 5 years, I would say, or more, because basically this is a conversational game with hundreds of questions designed specifically from the science of psychology, positive psychology and coaching psychology, to dive a little bit deeper below the surface with your friends, family members, dates, strangers, and also a really good tool for self-discovery. And I realized when I created this game, so I launched this game in Iceland like 4 years ago, and with great success. People loved it, and all kinds of people played it with their family, friends, therapists use it. And basically the reason why I did it at the beginning was because I tend to hate surface level conversation. It just takes my mind away, and I can play that game, and I think you should be able to play that game, but I really like personal, meaningful, talking about life, deep ideas, or what you're going through, or what are your goals you want to achieve, or what is happening in your life. And I realized that when I had a conversation with strangers and friends, normally one-on-one, I sometimes got a message afterwards like, wow, this was the most meaningful conversation I ever had, and that they took notes after seeing me. And that tend to happen over and over again. And I realized that, oh, wait a minute, I've studied the science of coaching psychology, which is basically the science of asking the right questions to people, along other things. So I'm used to engage in meaningful conversations, and that's my language. So I kind of took it for granted, but I realized that not all people have the tools to ask deep questions about perspective, experiences, values, the future, the past, the present. And a lot of people, when they would get those tools, they would extremely benefit, not only them in terms of self-discovery, but also in terms of their connections. Because I think you can be a friend of a person for a decade, but not really know them. And I want to change that. I want to make human conversations great again. And I want to help people to get the tools to really know themselves and really know other people, and really give them tools to express themselves, and also really knowing people deep down. So that's the reason I made it. I took my Icelandic cards, I translated them, I revised it a lot, and I created this Unlock question game that I'm launching, and I can't wait to get that into the hands of people and start playing it myself in my life. So it has the potential to enhance your relationships in your life if you play this game, but also enhance the understanding you have for yourself and other people. So yeah, and then maybe I'm gonna answer 3 questions in the playing deck, so you can get a insight into how this game would work. So I'm gonna imagine the camera is my friend, which you are. And then I'm going to ask myself 3 questions that I took from the deck. And the first one is, what would you wish other people knew about you? I would wish that people knew that they could be brutally honest with me. As in, like, they could even be harshly honest with me. And they can tell me whatever they want to tell me about me or myself or my behavior or their ideas or expressing their truth, because I really value that, and I value when I get like direct feedback on what I can be improved on. Although maybe I don't like the feedback when it comes just right at the time, and I have to think about it to get it in and stuff. But I really value that, because I know from that feedback I can learn a lot. And I have a soccer career, and we used to, if we had a shitty game, the day after we would play the game, and the coach will stop the game every 5 minutes and ask every player, like, Becky, what the fuck were you doing there? And you have to explain what you could have done better. So I could have be in a better position, located, I could have done a better pass, etc. And I really value that, because I think friendships and partnerships and business partnerships, they are created, and the foundation is truth and honesty, and having psychological safety to be able to express those. But feedback is called endurgjöf in Icelandic, so it basically means to give a present back. And I think that's such a beautiful meaning of the name, because you are doing that when you give other people feedback. You are giving them a gift. And I just wish that other people would know that I could handle that, no matter how harsh it is, no matter if you're a close person in my life or a stranger, because I can take it. And so please just know that whatever you're going to tell me, I'll take it in with open arms and without judgment, and probably use that to improve my life. But if I want, I will at least say what I think is true and what is not true and what I will implement in my life. So that's what I wish that other people would know about me. Question 2. What's a turning point in your life that shaped who you are today? I have so many turning points. I mean, I can mention a couple of ones. When I started playing soccer, went through a breakup, but I think I'm gonna choose my biggest turning point, and that was leaving everything that I built in Iceland. Super successful personal brand, most popular podcast in the country, most successful public speaker and a coach in Iceland, and just throwing that away and deciding to embark on an adventure and do the PhD program in the US. And then the PhD was just a ticket to the US. I knew that I was not going to be a professor, although I might become a professor one day. But just that turning point of, because I made that decision, although I was terrified, I made that decision because, firstly, I made the decision of staying home because I had a PhD program in Iceland, or staying home in Iceland. But I knew that when I made that decision didn't sit well with me. So after like 2 days of being completely in my head and calling everybody that I knew and I trust, I was just waiting for them to tell me, like, go to America, what they were thinking. So I decided to do that, and that shaped my life in a way that I could not describe before I took that decision. It has made me, like, Iceland is so small, so homogeneous. People are doing the same stuff. We're so small, but we think we're so big. But you haven't seen the world if you only live in Iceland. And what has shaped me by coming to America is that, firstly, I'm being able to have impactors beyond Iceland. I'm speaking English and my social media blew up, and I have a bunch of international coaching clients, and I got speaking engagement, and my social media is booming. I'm launching this. So on the business front and on the professional front, it has helped me a lot. I've increased my expertise in psychology and the science and helping people, and I feel like I'm playing with the best people in the world. But also, like, personally, my wisdom, my just personal value as a human being has tenfolded. I've experienced things that just in my wildest dreams. I've never felt as secure in myself and free to be whoever I want, dress however I want, do whatever I want, say whatever I want. And I think that's one of the reasons why I love this country, because people in Iceland, we tend to judge what people are doing, how people look, if they're doing anything different, we try to drag them down. And I got in, yeah, my lifestyle changes. So when I was in Iceland, I worked from 8 in the morning to 6 in the evening. And I still do that, I work a lot, but I also have allowed myself to live the lifestyle I want. And for me, at the moment, that's not grinding for 12 hours per day. That's more implementing lifestyle, working out, running, climbing mountains in nature, going to wellness events. And I just feel like this is my home, and I've never felt as true to myself. And it has made me a more compassionate person and resilient person, because if you have gone through the process of moving to another country, you know, getting the visa, getting the bank account, credit card, taxing, job, school in another language, like, if you've done that, nothing makes you afraid anymore, because you've gone through such a rough process, and that makes you really, really resilient. And I do think that's the reason why 50% of successful startup in the US is people not from the US, because they have to go through this rough process of being in the country. And I think that's a marker. Your past behavior is a marker of future success or future behavior. I think it's the strongest marker actually of that. So yeah, it's just completely changed my life. I'm a way more spiritual human being than I was. I felt like at the peak of my PhD, I started to be more spiritual in terms of being connected to something greater than myself and connected with my best self. And just being a more human being, experiencing things rather than analyzing things. And also just develop my relationship with God, started reading the Bible, having my own relationship with God, which I probably talk about at some point. Just getting exposed to people that are doing the best in Los Angeles, which is the hub of people in entertainment, in business, in fitness, in athletics. And I'm just learning and being inspired from people that you are surrounded to. Just makes you feel normal to be the best in your game, and it makes it easier for you to be in the best shape, to be crushing it professionally, to have all of these experiences. So yeah, I'm gonna stop now, but that's definitely a turning point that shaped my whole life. Last question. If tomorrow were your last day, what would you regret not doing? I don't live my life with many regrets. I don't have any regrets in my life. But if I would die tomorrow, I would have one big regret. And that will be not having the opportunity to experience to be a father. I am really looking forward to being a father. I think that's the only way you love somebody more than you love yourself. And I think that's the only big thing I want to accomplish to take me to the next maturity level of this life. And it's also a marker of success. My marker of success is when I get older, the kids want to hang out with me. I think that's a good marker of success in my life. But I'm not like stressed or this needs to happen like within this year or within the next year or within the next 3 years. I'm really comfortable in my own skin because I know it takes a longer time to find your partner and then decide to have kids. But I just want to see version of yourself develop with love and compassion and encouragement, and seeing them going through the same process that you went to and experiencing life again through their eyes. I'm really looking forward to that, and just taking responsibility of somebody beyond yourself. And I think that will be really a good mature step for me. And I'm just looking forward to that because I want to be the best that I ever could be. Not only in words, but mostly in body, being a good father. And I want to teach my kids how to live a good life. And I know I'll be obsessed with reading books on like how to make like parenting and development of your kid as successful as it possibly can. And also have some challenges of not being too controlled or too harsh and being loving and all of that. So I think it's a big learning environment, and I'm really, really looking forward to become a dad one day. So you can see I'm playing this game with the camera, where you can see how this could lead to all kinds of conversation with you and your partner, your friends or family, and how you would really know who I am and who other people are beneath. And I'm not saying this because this is my card game. I'm saying this, play any other card game, whatever, but relationships makes this life worthwhile. We now know that according to the science, and I think if it comes down to relationship, it comes down to communication. I think one of the best way to enhance your communication with your people is to ask them the right questions. And I have spent a decade figuring out these questions, both in the science realm, science informed, but also in my coaching practice and thousands of conversations with people. And it's not like therapy, it's not like going through your childhood and your trauma, whatever it's based on, more like questionnaires from positive psychology of what makes this life worthwhile, like more the positive things about you and the world, and more of a coaching perspective of like where you're at now and where you want to go. So it's not like, doesn't feel like you're playing a game with a therapist. It's more like creating an environment where you can share your deepest part of your soul. And that's gonna transform your relationship, I'm sure. So let me know if you decide to play it. You can find the link in the description. I'll send you that to the game. And thank you so much for listening, and I appreciate you all.